Music is more than a calling for us. It is everything. It flows through our blood, our breath, our very being. The kind ones call us daughters of the choir. A critic may call us daughters of cacophony. And with a single note, we can bring kingdoms to their knees. They think power is in the blade, in the strength of a fist, or the sway of words, but they don't understand. They've never heard how a single voice can do what no sword or throne ever could. Music speaks to something deeper, something hidden. And in that, we are untouchable, unmatched. They speak of us in whispers, not out of fear, but reverence. It moves through us like blood in the veins, filling us with something greater than immortality, something eternal. I've seen princes brought to tears by song. I've watched hardened warriors, men who've seen centuries of death, fall to their knees as my voice fills the room. They come to us when they've lost something, when the world feels distant and empty. They come seeking comfort, release, and for a moment, we give it to them. That's the power of Melpomene. With our voices, we can lift them up or tear them apart. We can make them feel alive again, if only for the duration of a single song. We can unite love and death, make them inseparable, two parts of the same melody. It's an intoxicating feeling, isn't it? To hold someone's entire being in the palm of your hand, to shape their thoughts, their very heartbeats, with nothing more than the rise and fall of your voice. I've felt it so many times, standing on stage, a court full of kindred and mortals alike before me, all wanting, all waiting for the first note. And when I sing, they are mine. Their eyes widen, their hearts quicken, and for those few moments, I can do anything. That is the power of the Daughters of Cacophony. We don't need to rule. We don't need to command. The music does it for us. They think they know what power is. These Ventru, with their iron wills, the Toreador, with their beauty, the Bruja, with their passion. But they will never know what it is like to create something that moves an entire room. To bend minds and hearts to your will without lifting a finger. That's why they come to us. They need to feel something greater than themselves. They need to remember what it's like to be small, to be vulnerable. And we give that to them. But there is a cost. It starts as a high, a rush of emotion, of power. You hold them in the palm of your hand. You see their tears, their awe, their desire. And for that moment, you feel alive. They gaze at you like you're the answer to every question they've never dared to ask. But it fades. It always fades. And when the last note is sung, when the room falls silent, they remember who they are. The spell is broken. The power you held slips through your fingers like dust. They return to their schemes, their courts, their wars, and you're left with nothing but the echoes. I've sung for justicars. I've performed for Sabbat bishops, Camarilla princes, even anarch barons. They've all fallen, under my spell. All stood in awe as the music washed over them. But none of them stayed. That's the truth they don't tell you about Melpomene. It doesn't bind them to us. It frees them for just a moment. They feel something they can't control, and it terrifies them. They see the beauty, but they can't hold it. And so, they walk away. Even among my own kind, the other daughters, there is a distance. We understand each other in ways that no one else can. There's a bond in the fugue, a connection in the music we all share. When we meet, there is a familiarity, a shared understanding. But even that is not enough. Two divas in the same room, it's never easy. We are all stars in our own right, all convinced that our voice is the one that will echo through the ages. And maybe it will be. But when the music starts, when the voices rise together, there's always friction. Always competition. I've watched as the differences between us, their artistic visions, their creative temperaments, have created rifts, rivalries. We start in harmony, but there's always a discord that creeps in. Maybe it's the egos, maybe it's the music itself, but the closer we get, the more we find ourselves pulling away. It's strange, isn't it? The thing that defines us, the music that ties us to one another, is also the thing that keeps us apart. And then there's the ones who desire me. Oh, they come. They always come. Lovers, admirers, those who think that if they get close enough, they'll capture something in the magic for themselves. They look at me like I'm some rare jewel, something to be possessed, to be cherished for its beauty and its power. But they never see beyond that. They lust after the voice, after the way it makes them feel. They tell me they love me, but I see it in their eyes. They don't want me. Not really. They want the song. They want to possess the voice, the magic, the power. They want to make me theirs. They want me to be their songbird, caged and perfect, singing only for them. I've had suitors, so many suitors, who thought they could win my heart. They flatter, they praise, they speak of love and passion, but it's always the same. They're in love with the idea of what I represent. They're in love with the way I make them feel. And deep down, I know what they truly want. They want to own me. They want to claim the beauty for themselves, to have it at their beck and call. So I keep them at an arm's length. I smile. I play the part. I let them believe for a moment that maybe, just maybe, they're different. But they're not. They never are. They want to own me, not love me. They call me a siren, but it's not because I lure them to their deaths. It's because I call them close, and then they disappear. For years, I thought the music was enough. I thought it would bring me the connection I craved, the love I've longed for. Who could hear the song and not be moved? But I was wrong. I've stood in rooms filled with people, with lovers, with other daughters, and felt more alone than I ever have by myself. Because even when they're there, even when they're listening, they don't really hear me. They don't hear the loneliness in the note. The emptiness in the spaces between. At first, it didn't matter. The admiration, the awe, it was enough. To stand in the center of the court, to feel their eyes on me, to know that I held them in a way no one else could, it was intoxicating. But then they'd leave. The applause would fade. The room would empty. And I would still be there, with only the fugue to keep me company. The fugue is always there, always playing. Even when the music stops, it hums in the background, a constant reminder that there is no rest. The others can walk away from it, but I cannot. It follows me just beneath the surface, tugging at the edges of my thoughts, pulling me back to the stage. There is no peace for us, not for the Daughters. We are bound to the music, and it never lets us go. I used to think that the fugue was a gift, a blessing, the eternal song that made me who I am. But now, I see it for what it is, a chain, a weight I will carry for eternity. The more I sing, the more I realize the truth. I am just a vessel for the song. I exist only to give voice to the music. And once the song is over, I have nothing left. I am the songbird in the gilded cage. Beautiful, admired, desired, but never free. They come to hear me sing, but they will never let me go. They love the music, but they will never love me. The fugue will never stop. It will always be there, always waiting for me to answer it. And I will keep singing, because without it, I have nothing. But one day, I will fall silent. And when I do, they won't miss me. They will miss the music. That's the truth, isn't it? They'll mourn the loss of the beauty I created, the songs that carried them to places they could never reach on their own. They'll remember the way I made them feel, the moments of rapture, the release from their pain and hunger. But they won't remember me. The music will live on. It always does. But I will be nothing more than a memory, a faint echo in the halls where I once sang. That's the life of a daughter of the choir. We sing because we must. We create beauty for a world that adores us, that worships us from afar, but never truly knows us. We are admired, we are desired, but we are always alone. The music is eternal, but we are not. And so I sing because it's the only thing I know how to do. Because the fugue never stops. Because if I didn't, I don't know what would be left of me. But one day, I will fall silent. And when I do, the song will rise from another throat. The crowd will worship her instead of me. And I will be forgotten. This is why I put everything into what I sing each night. There is only this moment of glory, And that moment, on that stage, is all I have.